Protesters gathered at over a dozen cities all across the country tonight to push back against the FBI's requests for Apple to break through the iPhone security.
From Portland, Oregon to Washington, D.C. and New York, these people support Apple as the company fights a judge's order to unlock the data on an iPhone used by Syed Farook. He died in a shootout with police after December shootings in San Bernardino, California. Also new tonight, the Associated Press reports Apple will tell a judge this week that its fight with the FBI over phone encryption should be taken up by Congress, not the courts. Our Montana McLaughlin is tracking how the story is playing out in our area, and she's live with more. Montana.
Steve, Laurel, it's become a sticky situation that pits individual privacy rights against the government's efforts to fight terrorism. And after speaking to several people, opinions came down to which one is the largest threat. Here's what they had to say.
30 years ago, when John Smith first started practicing law, he never imagined this type of case.
Individual rights bump up against what the government wants to do many times, and healthy debate happens in this country when that occurs.
He's talking about the FBI's request to Apple to break into the iPhone of San Bernardino shooter Syed Farook.
The FBI is essentially arguing, look, we're investigating terrorism. We need information that very well could be on this phone.
Smith says a system to break into locked iPhones doesn't exist.
And Apple's saying, when we sell an iPhone to a customer, we don't believe that what the customer puts in that phone is any of our business.
But the FBI says they know Apple engineers could develop a way to crack the system. In Apple's statement to customers, they say they've complied with every FBI request since the December shooting. But now executives say they're being asked to do something they consider too dangerous to create.
That program has the potential and the capacity to fall into anyone's hands.
These 35 pages are the FBI's motion that claim Apple is using technology rather than the law to govern who has access to the data. But that's the question. What is the law?
There isn't a specific statute that grants the government or the FBI authority to tell Apple to unencrypt this phone.
In other words, Smith says there are no laws that cover encryption codes. And Missoula residents had something to say about it.
One little thing like that, you open the floodgates and then God knows where it leads to.
It's my personal phone for a reason.
Others believe Apple should be able to release sensitive information to authorities on certain occasions.
Because that way they do have access to terrorists.
But some say the case is a slippery slope.
I find the process comforting because we live in a country where we have a Bill of Rights.
The end of this may not just yield who's right or wrong, but create a whole new set of rules to govern technology.
Many people I spoke with who did not want to go on camera said they think encryption should be the government's first priority. Apple is expected to face the FBI in a California court on March 22nd. Reporting live in the newsroom, Montana McLaughlin for NBC Montana.
Thank you, Montana. Apple is set to file a formal appeal later this week.